Alright, we're doing something a little different today. I just happened to be online at just the right time to catch one of Dragon's famous 1v4s. So we've got Dragon, a mod, an excellent player, and just kind of a menace on Team 1. That's the ANS team. He has 12,000 points. Something's going on with my throat. I don't know what's up with that. Team 2, we have Heinrich Pills, Showtime, Internet Explorer, and Ignaz Ney. On the OSP teams, each of these players is going to have 3,000 points. We're on pillars, as you can see. And oh man, I'm ready. I've not gotten the chance to see one of these. I participated in one back a long time ago when I didn't know any better, and I got stomped. Of course, then it was ANS versus ANS, so it was obviously different. Yeah, I think this is cool. Hoping maybe you'll do a few more, and I'll get to catch a couple of these on video for you, dear viewer. I think they have the potential to be very interesting and informative, especially with Dragon being on one team alone. I think this would be highly useful for the ANS viewer who isn't really sure how to engage in teamwork, how to make his fleet work with his friend's fleet. You'll be able to see one full team of fleets. I guess it's one fleet, but four 3K fleets worth of fleets under one guy's command, and they will therefore work together pretty well. All right, we're gonna go through the OSP team first. So we got a rail team up here. That's maybe not good. Plasma, just plasma, of Ignatz with C-53 tugs and T-20. Oh, this could be very powerful. That plasma can get to target. Explorer being Gunacello and 250 casemates. With a point defense tug and a scout tug, or a scout shuttle. Showtime also bringing the fighting SLO. Cannons. And then, yeah, 250. Oh, 250 and 450 casemates. And a Bloodhound tug. Alright. Gonna go through Dragon. This is Dominus. Beam battleship with way too much damage control inside of it. Oh, this thing. This thing. Yeah, you're talking about that shipyard before things got started. Cannons fighting us, Axford. Two big cannons on the front, a little one on the rear. Well, I guess little is relative. It's a 3-barrel 250. More 450s and 250s. What are you doing with the cello? Or I keep calling everything a cello. What is wrong with me? I've seen so many games with the cellos in them lately. My brain is broken. Got a Vauxhall with cannons and some anti-missile capacity. Also driving them on flank, getting them to wherever they're going very quickly. Oh my goodness, what are you bringing? Whiplash and a Dragonfly. More Mark 64s. A Scout Rain's getting completely annihilated. Man, Dragon's really going ham on the damage control. Might be something to consider doing. My ANS fleets. Another ship that's been locked up. Going after Alpha. Fortunately, not great accuracy even with the lock. It's kind of weird. Shooting at the shuttle. Another Ewar Reigns. Other Ewar Reigns. Oh my. Okay, Sarissa's to deal with containers, which the other team does not have. And then a pair of scouts with little guns on them. See, I think I'm going to focus on things from Dragon's perspective for these, since that's the weird part here. Right, is the 1v4 aspect. He's blobbed up his entire fleet and is looping them around the Delta Echo side, the definitive edition side of the map, with an Axford and one of his scanning reins, which has survived the rails quite effectively, in fact. All these DC teams mean the rail fires get put out very fast, and what little damage they do gets mostly repaired. That's, huh, very interesting. Yes, kitty, meow. That is exactly what is happening here. Even managed to fit a repair team on the sprinter. I was hoping for more interesting teamwork, but I guess blobbing up the entire fleet and looping around the backside of the map to get behind your opponents and blow them up is certainly an option. OSP team being pretty defensive overall. Showtime gonna be looping around Bravo's side. Tug's pushing. Oh man, they're gonna run into this entire fleet and get annihilated solo. This player would also push up onto Charlie with Showtime, who's this Internet Explorer. And then they could easily overwhelm these forces, cap this point, and probably rotate onto Delta and cap that. And get an easy points victory. Because this blob, though, is very dangerous, is also kind of slow. Yeah, very slow. Another scout getting caught. Plasma. I might want to be careful with that. Well, a couple lands. Okay, so that's probably worth. But the reload time on these are sort of a nightmare. And now the beams have been unmasked from the rock, and the Socello's reloading its plasma. Which is a big problem. If this this battleship can just cut this Ocello out of the middle of this fleet, and it's screwed. This player not restoring his plasma cannon, which is not good. Not good at all. Few plasma hits gonna be coming up here, and it's unfortunate if he had saved his plasma for something bigger than a sprinter. And he might have already gotten 2 volleys into this thing. Oh man. The Cello being absolutely torn apart by these beams. But Dragon's got some unfortunate angling on this. He's getting hit on the broadside. And, okay, this guy just dips, which is shameful. He got a little caught out. Yeah, his ships are fine. He can definitely continue fighting. But he just abandoned immediately after the CIC of his Solo got knocked out. So, never mind. I was going to say, oh, this ship's going to continue taking plasma fire. Going to take at least 1 more volley of plasma fire on this starboard side. And then more rounds can come in here. Those 250s and the D-30s are eventually gonna do a lot of damage to this ship. But no. I guess even in the silly Billy 1v4s, people still bitch out the second their fleet things go slightly wrong. Like infants. It's especially unfortunate since I don't think these Relicellos are really going to do anything. Since Dragon went pretty crazy on the damage control teams on all of his ships. Oh my god. 11 restores on a voxel. Madness. Certainly a good build to putting a ton of DC teams. It's just especially in a match like this where it's going to be a slog. It's just very micro intensive. It's hard to actually manage all that, especially on a fleet this big. Let's get the benefit of the high component health that the large lockers come with. And of course, I think part of it is actually reducing his micro, funnily enough, since he has so many points to work with, and large lockers are pretty expensive. Far more than other components. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. Oh, no, it's not. Double-sided 250s is... Oh, this is the revolver ship. Okay. Where he's got 250s on every single hard point. We can just blam, rotate, blam, rotate. I'm pretty sure he's got a yard drive in here, too. He has two drives. He has the normal yard drive and the fat yard drive. How do you have the electricity for that? I guess safety 3Ks mates just don't take that much. I'm gonna have to steal this build. I don't know, no point defense is kinda... Well, he does have the outsourced point defense. But overall, I think this is some risky business. I don't like having fragile fleet builds. Because that's what that is. Or brittle, I guess is a better way to say it. So if this tug gets taken down, then this thing's in huge trouble. As a single unit, this team is very powerful. But if any one of these ships gets destroyed, the others are kind of screwed. Because most of the firepower is coming from this Bulker. And look at that. But every one of these ships has an extremely important role, and they all work together as one unit. So if anything gets sniped, you're kind of screwed. I think a decent hybrid spam would actually just kill this thing straight out. Dragon standing off now on the definitive edition side of the map. It's managed to rocket on the points. On the caps, I should say. The only point he's missing is Bravo. As Rain's continuing to take tons of fire from the over the top ships. We got Showtime here. And then our Heinrich Bills up here. Continuing to drop rail fire down. Doesn't seem to have very good accuracy with those. And again, with the sheer volume of restores these ships, or damage control teams these ships have, the damage from the rails is going to be negligible. Because it'll just get repaired immediately, and the fires will get put out immediately. Really needs to be coordinating with this team more and shooting at things that are shooting back, like this. Although you can't really get a good angle on it. This might be shooting back, but I don't think so. Most of these ships are just kind of chilling behind this rock. Beam not being aggressive, waiting for the enemy to come to him. Good play now that he's up on caps. Ninth Invictus taking a lot of fire, but not taking that much damage. Yeah, revolver down here. I don't know, that's the element. Doom. Revolver ship doing its best. Should have named this the Ocelot. Missed opportunity. A lot more fire going into Libertas. Oh boy. Now with the rails on top of the 450 fire, damage is going to add up. Especially if there's not anything else fighting over here. I think Dragon might be trying to bait his opponents to push him. Where are the voxels right now? Oh, they've spread out quite a bit. Yeah, that's got to be it. He's trying to pull internet or Showtime up here closer so the beam can loop out and all the voxels can pop out and just fire everything at him. Showtime not taking a bait. He's taking some retreating fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ocellos. I don't think that's... There it is. There's a real answer. Solo's really good, but generally been pretty disappointed with how people have been using them. Just because it's a meta, quote-unquote, ship, doesn't mean you're good at using it. It's the beauty of Nebulous. Even though you can win a battle in the fleet editor, player skill and strategy, tactics, and planning are kind of more important than anything. That's why you see gold players bring terrible, terrible builds pretty often and then do really well with them. It's going to get caught up by the voxel. It's just going into a reload cycle. I think this Reigns can get some jamming on. Yeah, he's already got it. Dragon King of the E-War. Unfortunately, the Invictus is going to be taking some crossfire from Internet Explorer. Not a lot of damage has gone out this match yet. I think this might be the most intense fight right here. We've also got some fire coming in from the expert way over here on the other side of the map. Presumably some jamming coming in as well. Ah. A little bit of jamming on everything. Casemate firing another revolver ship. That's gonna do some damage. Especially on top of the 450s coming out of this. Oh, but those are going after this voxel. No. Concentrate your fire. Kill the expert. Wow, some of these rail shots not even penetrating this. Full penetrating this expert. These things are ridiculous. Defenders? What's he firing AMMs at? Is he firing AMMs at the decoy? I think he might be. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I don't even know. I didn't even know that could happen. That's pretty funny. Just another reason to keep your AMMs on manual mode. A lot of damage being done here to this point. Bulker leading the charge. Really need to be leading with the assault. You also need to be pointing your armor towards your opponent. Just flying down to Delta. Alpha and Echo have been pretty much abandoned by both teams. As Voxel sniffing around the backside trying to catch someone out, but he's not going to really find much. He might find Bravo, which he can cap, because that's pretty much open too. Dragon absolutely killing it on the points game. Invictus, worse for wear to be sure, but not too terribly. It's going pretty well. My fellow spectator going to be dipping. Yes, you see this is the way the wind is blowing. Dragon's pretty much got this one in the bag, especially with this early DC. That's a long-range scout, which has gotten right on top of the opposing team. Yeah, these AMMs are 100% being fired at these active decoys, no question. It's really funny. Main thrusters out on the voxel. Or main engines, I should say. A lot more damage coming in. The berthing, of course, destroyed, as it always is in every game, on every ship. I don't know why that always happens. I guess the berthing just doesn't have that much HP. Probably doesn't have much in the way of DT either. This pushing bulker gonna get cleaned up by all the crossfire. Battleship coming out. Trying to use these rocks as cover, but he's going to be taking a lot of rail fire as he slowly moves in. If he can get on top of this Ocello, it's dead. I don't think the Ocello notices it. No, he's too busy fighting. The bulk of Showtime's damage potential has been killed. Dragon giving his opponents a little bit of help. OSP takes Alpha. About to lose Bravo. And yeah, they never did cap Charlie. Too obsessed with combat and war and death. Starkington tried to join earlier, but the lobby was already full. I'd really like to see his BB strats against this team. That dude knows his beam ships. Well, just really all of his battleships. He's pretty good at managing. Beams or guns. See, was it an assist, or was he just baiting the opposing force? I'm really sure that's in range. Like, really, really sure. Yeah, those are like 2 clicks away from each other. He just needs to dip his nose up enough because the beam turrets actually can't very high. Their gimbals are pretty limited. And it's so funny to see these crappy, itty-bitty, teeny, tiny little thrusters firing to move this unimaginably gigantic monster. They're trying so hard to flip that nose up. I think he's actually triggered everything to fire at it, so it's going to be some really wonk angling as the whole ship rotates and reorients. Russell might be able to get away, although he's trying to retreat, but he retreats right into fire from this voxel.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
Just grab an echo. Ah, Internet Explorer. Good, good. Moved out of the Bravo cap? Oh, because the, this is coming to clean things up. I think it's going to be landing. Well, it's going to land. No, not at that angle. Oh, we got some short-range missiles going out. And going away. Got soft-killed by Chaff. Cicillo able to dip around the rock and just completely pull the wool over his beam ship. I cannot believe how good that dodging is. Unfortunately, dodging the beam ship is going to cause it to run right into a voxel and an Axford. Now there's just some teamwork. That's how you do things. That's how you counter ambush. You chase something away with something big and fat and slow, and the anus, everything the anus has is big and fat and slow. Feels like. And you chase it right into something that might be even more dangerous. That's how you force a trap. In tennis, we call that forced error. Where you set up a situation where there is no correct answer but to lose. If you play right, you will lose. If you play wrong, you will lose. That's teamwork. That's coordination. Obviously, it's easier to do it when you're one guy operating all of the ships. But I think that sort of play of either forcing something to die to a beam ship or retreat into a couple of gunships, which will also kill it, could be something that ANS players should have in their hat. Anytime they see a beam battleship, could work with it, and it'll also save some of the engines on said beam battleship, because they'll have to flank a little less and chase a little less. Use it to flush game out of the rocks so the gun vessels can clean them up. God, that was a really good play. I don't even know if it was entirely on purpose. Presumably it was. I liked it. It's damn shame this team didn't do more, because it could have done more. It could have done a lot more to the Dominus over here. Might right now be laughing at Dragon building his whole fleet around this one insane battleship and it getting destroyed. Yeah, these atypical games are fun. I'm glad I'm doing this. Might need to start hosting matches with mods in them from time to time. Speaking of hosting, or lack thereof, I guess, or I don't even know what to call it. Server hosting. Huge thank you to all the people who have spent their time, their energy, and potentially their money and their at least their electricity bill, if nothing else, on setting up unofficial servers, dedicated servers. Everyone who has a crappy PC and some people who don't, like me, really appreciate it. It's nice to be able to play on dedicated servers and not always have to host. Because sometimes this game is a little hard on the old desktop. Obviously, you have to host if you want to use mods. I think that may not actually be true. I'm guessing you have to host individually, like peer-to-peer, if you want to use fleet mods. But the dedicated servers are a huge boon to the player base. Dragon looping around and closing in on the last remaining player. Internet Explorer. Obviously, Heinrich is still around, but Rail Ocellos have kind of never been a meaningful threat. You really have to do some very specific and dedicated teamwork strats with these, and they've just sort of been shooting at whatever. Which means they haven't really done much. Like right now, if they were firing at this, there we go. It's going to be helping. There's also the problem that a lot of the punch of the Rail Ocello, which is setting fires, is pretty much entirely mitigated by the immense volume of damage control teams that every one of Dragon's ships has. I'd like to see more plasma against this fleet. I think plasma would be really strong. Might have to get in on one of these. Then I wouldn't really be able to record and bring it to you. Man, look at that. Solo without a support, just getting completely skunked. The support has been lured away by this voxel, who is going to die, for sure. But, the power of the fleet still here. He's used... I really like this, because he's used all his support ships to keep his battleships safe. By, like, poking them around rocks and shooting at things from really far away just to harass and force opponents down, using this voxel to lure away an actually pretty dangerous ship and have it be busy fighting this while a beam ship engages the Ocello and basically takes it out. It's not technically dead, but it's getting pretty close. And then, now that that fight's over with, more or less, you can start rotating around this rock to take this on solo. Only ever engaging one ship at a time, except when this team ambushed him / he got ambushed by this team. But at that moment, he was using his Axford and a Sprinter to kind of eat fire, and the Sprinter baited out the plasma, and the beam ship moved in and started cleaning things up. And obviously, he's had insane map presence with his Sprinters and Rains, just capping everything. And the Voxels, too, being very maneuverable and capping things. Yeah, 11k damage on this beam ship, but it did its job being a presence, being like a pseudo objective. That's really what you want to do with beam ships. It's kind of like, if any of you are familiar, assaults in MechWarrior Online. You don't want to hold W and shoot at things. You want to be a presence. Simply by existing on the battle space, you are influencing it. You don't have to be doing damage to be a disruption, to draw attention. and to generally menace the opposing force so that other smaller, more vulnerable ships on your team can get things done, like these voxels, like these rains, like these sprinters. There's also this. It's really hard to coordinate to have your fleet in the right position, but it's so important to do it, especially in a game like this when you're against one guy who's always going to be coordinated. And that's where the EWRs from the OSP come in real handy. You can get a rough idea of what the ANS is up to and can position your fleet accordingly, since the ANS is slower than you, generally speaking. Yeah, the rails just didn't really do that much. Poor accuracy, ironically, on rails. This guy dipped. Shame. Internet Explorer got some damage in. Pretty good amount of damage in. Probably could have done a lot better if he was with Showtime more. Who really didn't do much of anything. And just because he got, like, this thing got killed so fast. Yeah, because it was pushed too far forward. And that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed. There's something a little different. I liked it. I'm gonna try to catch another one of these right now. So I'll see you in the battle space.